Welcome to the annual HR Summit.
The point of this, which we've been doing for the last more than 10 years, is to come together to share ideas, to see how can we improve academia and practice and make it better.
Walt Disney said that you can dream to create the most beautiful place in the world, but it takes people to make that a reality. And in all the transformation journeys I've been to or been through, people is what stops the job, is what makes it happen.
The question about what is culture. Yes, you talked about CEO, but it is about the leadership. 70% of culture is leadership. Change capability, commitment, role modeling, consistency.
Unlike the traditional HR, where our role was pretty much to focus on people, today it's really how do you support the CEO, the MD to drive the organization.
I find that organizations are increasingly leveraging, obviously, employer branding, but employer branding is not being done perhaps effectively. Companies have not articulated very clearly what their value proposition is.
The business school vision is to spearhead Africa's transformation. And the reason we say we want to spearhead its transformation is because we recognize the pressing needs of the continent. And one of the best ways, perhaps the best ways of addressing the needs of this continent, which we are all familiar with, a very rich continent yet full of poverty and difficulties and challenges, but there is no better way to address this than addressing the issue of people development.
It's been a great 2 days. I am so glad that I made it. From the first time I saw the advert for this summit, I purposed in my heart and I said, this is a must attend. It has been an amazing time. The interactions with the people, and for me, the benchmarking. You know, when you come into a room with a lot of professionals in your field, in various industries, you get to benchmark and know what are others doing. How can I address some of the challenges I'm having in my office or some of the practices in my office? You get to benchmark on what are others doing around the same, and you're able to really pick ideas from others.
I have really enjoyed my 2 days in this forum. There's a lot of content that was brought in by the speakers that I found very impactful, and that brought in new knowledge, because we are living in a global world that is constantly changing, and I think as human resource professionals it is necessary we keep updating ourselves on what is going on out there.
Sometimes when we look from a HR point of view, we look at people from a competence, position competence. I'm a good accountant. I'm a good marketeer. That's position competence. But what we do not infuse in them is what I call transition competence. How do they get to the next generation? How do they move from playing the Premier League to playing the Champions League? That's what's going to be the differentiator for the future. I underline transition competence is what you require, and half the time you don't see that in the programs that are around. So change management is about equipping people for transition.
How do you leave here a different person? And your disruption will be, what will you start, what will you stop? But most importantly, and I say this again to my colleagues, it's about your mindset, your skill set, and your tool set. Mindset, skill set, tool set will make you future ready.